he's not Donald Trump. And he's not going to bring all of the Trump base with him. Only Trump can do that. Now, what DeSantis should do, and definitely could do, is run with Trump and then carry the mantle after Trump is gone. Because Trump only has one more term. Now, they don't like DeSantis, but he's not the threat that Donald Trump is, and they know it. He doesn't have the national support. Now, it's growing for sure. And they don't like him for sure. But because he's not the threat that Donald Trump is, they're not focused on him like that. That's it. That alone should indicate to you to stay the course. Right now, there's a push to push DeSantis ahead of Trump. Not going to happen. And if it does, you're going to lose millions and millions and millions and millions of people like me. You do not choose my candidate. I don't represent the Republican Party. The Republican Party is supposed to represent me. DeSantis, hell of a politician. Seems like he'd be a great president after my candidate is done. Now, it's fascinating to me that conservatives who are now fully intertwined with the Republican Party don't understand that. They think that I'm loyal to Trump. No, Trump is my candidate. He's loyal to me. He's the only politician, nationally, of course, who's actually shown loyalty to his base. He didn't run from us from primaries to general. He stayed true to his base. And what is his base? People who chose him, not the other way around. It's crazy to me that you guys don't understand this. I am not a Trump supporter. I've said this 1,000 times. Trump supports me. He understands who got him there. And he does what he's mandated to do by me. I'm the one with the power. And as soon as everybody realizes that, politics can change like that. Do it if you want. The smart thing would be getting around my pick. And when I say my, I'm talking about millions and millions and millions of people. Get around him, get him his 4 years, and then I will follow DeSantis. I will not choose DeSantis over my pick. It's not going to happen. It's arrogant, and there's a weird assumption that comes along with primarying Trump when he runs. When it comes from somebody like DeSantis, because I think DeSantis is who he is today because of Trump. He just doesn't realize it. Trump's base supported DeSantis. We lifted him up to allow him to be great. He's great. But once you say, well, and you get greedy and get DeSanctimonious, and you say, I could take this vote from Trump. You are really pushing.
And look, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair. I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is that if you have a prosecutor who is ignoring crimes happening every single day in his jurisdiction, and he chooses to go back many, many years ago to try to use something about porn star hush money payments, that's an example of pursuing a political agenda.
That's where DeSantis blew it. Because he did double talk. Oh, these are Soros DAs, blah, blah, blah. He did not address the fact that this is a former American president, and this is the current front runner, and there's no place for this. He didn't say that. He just said, these are Soros people. I'm moving on to more pressing issues, as if this is not an issue, an American issue. You better not run for president. I'm telling you now. And anyone who can objectively look at this can say, okay, yeah, he really messed this up. Make America Great Again is MAGA. Donald Trump created that slogan. So when I hear people arrogantly say that DeSantis is going to take Donald Trump's slogan away from him, it's really, really weird because it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. It's like saying that Coca-Cola is going to take Pepsi's logo away from them, and therefore all their people will just blindly start drinking Coca-Cola. It's really, really weird. You can't take MAGA away from the man who invented MAGA. He did not do what Ron DeSantis did and wait 2-3 weeks to finally make the statement he should have made on day one, because he's trying to think about his own, let's see, how can I capitalize on this? When you get emotional about this guy, you're going to lose. You can't beat him. It is time for Ron DeSantis to just stay in Florida. Don't try to run. You'll have 4.5 years, 4.5 years to recover from this. Michael Cernovich said that he committed political suicide when he made his initial statements. I agree. And over the next 4 or 5 years, get back in good graces with MAGA. Not who the people you think you can take from MAGA, the actual people. We don't care about your personal interests. We don't care about your stupid book. You lost. You already lost. You went from leading to down by 8 to down by 30. Lick your wounds. Get back in Trump's good graces. Let him promote you as the next guy, and you have a chance. Now you're done. You're done. While my people are finally waking up and saying, yeah, I would rather be under Trump than what's happening right now, conservatives are now turning on Trump because they see a new shiny object over there in the corner. And what is their reason for supporting Ron DeSantis over Trump? Nothing wrong with wanting to support him, but over Trump, the reason is less baggage, which we now know was all created. He doesn't tweet, which for some reason is a big deal. Not like Trump. He doesn't insult people unnecessarily. He's better with the politicians. Is that what we want? I thought that's what we did not want. We're going to try to push him to the side for Trump 2.0. Establishment Trump. We are now at a point where conservatives are cheering on what the Democrats are doing to Donald Trump because they want another guy to win. They think they have a replacement. From this point on, you will not hear me call myself a conservative. I'm going to scrub my social media. I'm going to scrub my YouTube of that term because I want no part of that. These people, right now, there's no difference between somebody who says they are conservative and somebody who says they are Republican. They have now merged. They are more interested in winning, or what they think is going to win, than what's right and what's good for this country. They're trying to put a man in prison, and conservatives are saying, ha ha ha, what are you Trumpers going to do now? You still going to back him? As if we're just going to run straight to Ron DeSantis if they pull this off. They are about winning. They are not about what's right and what's American. And they're trying to do this weird whataboutism thing. And they're confusing it with me saying, well, wait a minute. This is selective prosecution. It's actually persecution. Yeah, but he still broke the law. How do you know? First of all, how do you know he broke the law? We heard this with the Russian prostitutes and urinating and all that nonsense. And it turns out to be 100% false. So you're automatically going full Trump derangement syndrome and agreeing with Democrats just so you can get a guy out of your way because you thought you had a better candidate in DeSantis and he can't even He can't even Trump in his own state. Trump is a New Yorker. He happens to live in Florida. He's a transplant, and he's beating DeSantis in his own state. If he's so great for Florida, why can't he beat Trump in Florida? See, they overplayed their hand. They overestimated DeSantis' value, even to Florida. He did great. He's doing great in Florida. That is not the country. I've talked about this before. You guys grossly overestimated what he can do nationally. And this is all so you don't have to admit you were wrong. You thought he was going to come in and just swoop up Trump's base. It's early, I get it, but nothing's changing. It's not going to change. You thought it was. You're wrong. You were wrong. Instead of admitting it, you're willing to just look at it and say, we got to get rid of this guy. Okay, you're no different from Democrats. You're about the power. You're proving it. This has nothing to do with America. We've seen the results of Trump. They're to the point now where they're downplaying Trump's achievements when these are the same people who are touting them. What did he really do? And they're going to negatives in his administration and ignoring the positives. It's fascinating to watch. Ron DeSantis won't even come out to say, hey, we need to stop this. They are going after our president. He's responsible for all of you people being there. Whether you want to admit it or not, doesn't matter. You can think his base has shrunk. It hasn't. It hasn't. We stayed home last election. We did this. How many times does this have to happen for you guys to say, maybe these people are onto something? I thought they learned a lesson in the midterms, but what do? They blame Trump. The guy who's not in office, they blame him. They don't blame Lindsey Graham. They don't blame the turtle. They blame Trump. Yeah, well, look who he endorsed. What is an endorsement if the candidate is not going to do what they're supposed to do? All it's saying is, I prefer this guy. You guys, I prefer Carrie Lake. But they cheat and she doesn't get in. And they say, well, that's Trump's fault. They're just always going to be trying to win the next election. They're never going to do anything. They're going to be like Ron DeSantis. Not even a year into his term, he's already running for next office. That's just what's happening. I don't understand how you guys think. I thought I understood because you guys were aligned with us for a while. And now you've gone full leftist. You are literally cheering for the three-letter agencies to take down a man so you can win. On the right, you conservatives who are dancing and hoping that Trump goes to prison so Ron DeSantis could think he's going to get in. Let me tell you this. If they get Trump out of there, right, DeSantis will not be the guy who wins. It'll either be Biden or it'll be a third-party guy who swoops in. DeSantis has no charisma. DeSantis is the guy who was just passing out egg kebabs, hard-boiled egg kebabs. He's not the guy. So I don't know why there's an assumption that the Trump people will flock to him. They're not. They're not. And no matter what he's polling right now, the Democrats will turn on him and he will be destroyed. And he does not have the charisma and he does not have the ability to fight back. He just doesn't. I don't care what anybody thinks. We've seen him. I did not know people were still backing Ron DeSantis. I did not know after his debate performance where he looked and he's like, I'd support Trump, maybe you. Yeah. I did not know that he's still in it. Like, why? What are you doing? If your campaign relies on the arrest of another candidate, you're not a good candidate. I'm sorry. Everything Ron DeSantis does on the campaign trail is bad. He looks terrible. When he did that weird smile thing, when he stumbled across the stage in the boots, he's fake.
I'm sure your marketing team points out how they're trying to troll you in the marketplace. Okay, I'm sure they're doing that. Can you bring this one clip? I know you were on, what do you call it? On, what was it? Bill Maher, and Bill Maher talked about the boots. I've seen you walk with these boots. Go ahead and play this clip. This on TikTok went viral. It doesn't have 1 million views. It doesn't have, 10 million views. This thing's got 1.2 million likes. And some people are wondering,
what are they? I don't even. I haven't seen that.
They've not shown this to you. Okay,
No.
What they're trying to say with this is that in your boots you have heels.
No.
That's what they're trying to say.
Those are just standard off the rack Lucchese.
How tall are you? How tall are you, Governor? How tall?
5'11".
5'11". Okay.
And DeSanctimonious came to see me. Would you do it? Tears in his eyes. Nobody would even believe it. I don't know if he was wearing those same boots. I didn't notice that. I don't care either. That I don't care about.
No, what are you guys holding on to?
No, what the election becomes a referendum on what document was left by the toilet at Mar-a-Lago, we are not going to win.
Of course he lost.
Trump lost the 2020 election.
Of course.
Okay.
Joe Biden's the president.
Remember, October of 2020, that first debate with Biden. Biden beat him in that debate. And that was really incredible that he allowed that to happen.
He's not popular. It's clear. Nikki Haley passed him. And she's not popular. So what does that say about him? Again, great governor. He's doing a really good job. Leave him there. Those boots were very funny. I don't care what anybody says. And anybody who says it's not funny is a DeSantis fan who's just mad. Because he's where he is. Battling for second place, 50 points behind Trump. 40, 50 points behind Trump. Whose fault is that? He's got all that money, right? You guys promoted him, right? You guys are on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook fighting a war for this guy. And it doesn't matter. You know why? Nobody likes him. They like him as governor. They don't like him as president. I'm not the kind of person to say, I told you so. Well, yes, I am. I told you so.
Do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage
Mr.
tonight.
Ramaswamy, thank you.
I love the shot at Ron DeSantis' heels because that was phenomenal. So great. But I would like to hereby announce that Vivek, you're next.
Last night, I was honored to receive the endorsement of a man who has become a true leader and earned the admiration of so many patriots. I've been a friend of his, even though we were competing against each other. But I was a friend of his, and we got along. And he was saying he's a great president. I kept saying, why is he running? He keeps calling me a great president. But he's a fantastic guy, a very smart guy. He's got some tremendous ideas, and he's young, and he's got some young ideas, too, and that's a good thing. So he has a big, beautiful, bright future ahead. Vivek Ramaswamy. Come on up, Vivek.
Let's do this, guys. And I think that's going to require somebody who isn't bought and paid for, a businessman, not a politician. Anybody heard of that? And that's why I was in this race, but I'll tell you, the people of Iowa spoke loud and clear last night, and I'm a big believer that we, the people, create a government that is accountable to us, not the other way around. That we, the people, choose who leads this country. And so we heard we, the people, last night, and that is why last evening I met my friend here. We met in person, and I told him that I would endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. and do everything in my power to lead us to victory in this war. It is a 1776 moment right now. The moral obligation of your leaders is to the citizens of this country, not another one. There is not a better choice left in this race than this man right here. And that is why I am asking you to do the right thing as New Hampshire and to vote for Donald J. Trump as your next president.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, how was that? Pretty good, right? That was pretty good. And he's a fantastic guy. And he's really, he's got something that's very special because he started off with a Zippo and he ended up very strong. He did a great job. I was actually surprised when he called because he was doing well. And it's an honor to have his endorsement. He's going to be working with us, and he'll be working with us for a long time. Thank you. And they put on Ron DeSanctimonious, who came in a boring second. Now, we don't talk about him too much because over here he's polling at 4%, so we'll save him where he seems to go up, but we haven't found that place yet. He's gone down a lot.